also channels on TV where you can use your body. Aerobics, yoga. Using the body is a wonderful way that you can still the mind and connect with God. What other channels do we have? We have nature channels where we can watch animals and plant life and undersea life. I know some of you probably had that experience of being out in nature and feeling that connection with God. Going out looking up at the stars at night and just feeling that wonder of God. I know I've had times where I've had a difficult time praying or connecting with God, and I've been able to go out on a walk into nature and just feel that presence of God in nature. You know, we're used to praying in our sanctuaries. We're used to praying in our inner sanctuaries, but outside is God's sanctuary. And I'm looking out here at the beautiful sky and the trees that you have here. Sometimes we just want to go outside and we look up and we raise our hands up. Now, you know, some Unity people say, well, you know, but God isn't up there. No, God isn't up there. God is everywhere. God is within. But there's something about being out and looking up and seeing no boundary that transcends our small, limited self. It's like just connecting with that great satellite in the sky. And that's why. It's because it's that sense of expansion and no boundaries. Nature is a great, great channel for making us aware of the presence of God. I remember as a child, my mom used to make us watch Wild Kingdom. I would have preferred watching anything else, but she made us watch Wild Kingdom. She also made us watch Lawrence Welk. I'm not even going to try to parlay out in prayer this morning. But back to nature. It's so easy to see that presence of God in nature. We can look at a rose, we can look at a tree, and we can say, yes, that is the work of God. We can see God's beauty and God's grace that we were talking about this morning, and God's strength and God's creativity. The truth is, we can see God everywhere if we have the intention of finding God. You know, it reminds me of those pictures we used to have in the little books when we were children, where there'd be hidden objects within other objects, and you'd have to look really hard to find them. They make them for adults, too. You know, those pictures that you put up for your nose and you pull them out and you can see three-dimensional figures. I can't see those because you have to be able to see through both eyes at the same time, and I kind of have a lazy eye. And Bev Doolittle, she's an artist also that has those paintings where you have to look really hard and you can find objects hidden. Now the truth is, life is like those objects. If you look hard enough, you can see God anywhere you look. You know, and sometimes it's easy to find God. You look into the eyes of a baby. Isn't it easy to see God in the eyes of a baby? You can look around this room and look into the eyes of people here, and I'm sure you can find God. Sometimes it's a little harder, you know, when you're with your relatives or your in-laws. But the truth is, if you look hard enough, you can find God even there. And with this attitude of watchful awareness, we can truly become aware of God in everything. And not just in things, but in movement. You know, when we walk, we can know that it is God that walks. When we see, we can know that it is God that is the seer. It is God who sees, and it is what is seen as well. God is watching that channel on television. God is the act of seeing, and God is what is seen. We have lots of food channels too. Did you know that you can make food prayer? Have you ever had that experience? I have. I've gone to meditation retreats where we ate in silence, and every mouthful was done with mindfulness. The Buddhists call it mindfulness. And you can do anything with that mindfulness and make it into a prayer. There are lots and lots and lots of channels that we could talk about this morning. I'm sure you can think of some of your own. One of my favorites is Sci-Fi Channel. And you know, I think why I like it is because it just expands my perception of the universe, and it opens me up to quantum thinking. I love that. The great thing about cable and about satellite is that there are lots of music stations you can get as well. And music is one of the ways that opens me up in prayer. There's just something about music that takes me to another level and expands me. And then, of course, there are sitcoms that make us laugh. I used to do laughing prayer in my churches where I would just start laughing and get the congregation laughing. Laughing is a wonderful way to connect with God. Whatever it is, you need to find a channel that works for you, that assists you in connecting with your higher source. You know, and those channels will be different for different people, and they'll be different for you at different times in your life. What worked for you one day might not work the next. So if you find someday that you're having difficulty in the channel you've been using, and some people only have like one channel they use for prayer, and they keep using it over and over again, and that's great if it works for you. But if for some reason you're needing a different channel, know that you can find many, many different ways in order to connect with God and to pray. There have been times in my life when I could not sit down and meditate. My mind would not shut up. My body wouldn't be still. And if that was the only channel I knew, I'd be in great trouble. But thank God I know lots of different ways to connect with God. I have learned that as I get intentional and put my attention on God, I can make almost anything prayer. You see, you're the television set. You are the receiver. God is constantly broadcasting that frequency. All you have to do is tune in whatever way works for you. And if you're having trouble connecting with God in the channel you're currently using, then change channels. That's what unity is about. Teaching people to change the channel from lack and separation that we are often tuned into to one of oneness and abundance. You can find a channel that works for you because all of life is broadcasting God. All you have to do is turn on that receiver. And as for me, I have cable because I want to have as many channels as possible to connect with God. God bless you.